Good evening and welcome back to 49 News for our first show of the 2023 fall semester. I'm Grace McKenna.
And I'm Emma Schneider. Tonight we will be discussing everything new happening on UD's campus around Delaware and worldwide. 49 News starts right now.
The University of Delaware has advanced 13 slots to now rank number 76 among the nation's best overall universities. UD's President Dennis Asanis states that the university is proud of the transformative and enduring impact it makes on the world through education, research, and engagement with our community. In addition to this ranking, the university's engineering program has remained in the top 10 nationally, ranking 5th overall. The first floor of Spencer Lab is getting quite the upgrade. Construction has been ongoing in hopes to turn it into a revolutionary space for the Department of Mechanical Engineering. In the past, over 700 students each year use the design studio to learn how to design, test, and create their ideas. The brand new studio includes a metalworking machine shop, carpentry area, teaching labs, and collaborative spaces. Featuring a modern industrial interior with lots of extra lighting, the fresh studio officially opened on Monday, September 18th for student use.
The University of Delaware freshman dorms will possibly be getting some screen time soon. The Real Housewives of New Jersey star, Melissa Gorga, moved in her daughter and brought a film crew to capture the moment. Bravo and other tabloids complimented the dorm and said they had major dorm envy after watching the daughter's many TikToks that also caught the moment. On UD's campus, we have over 400 registered student organizations, but are students really getting involved? I have the story. The University of Delaware is known for being a large public university with over 23,000 students in attendance. With over 400 registered student organizations ranging from sports, Greek life, philanthropy clubs, pre-professional clubs, student media, cultural engagement, and much more, this makes for a lot of opportunities for students. But with over 400 opportunities, how do students find their fit? The university has many different resources available to help students find their place on campus. One of these ways is through involvement specialists in Perkins.
We can set up consultations with students to help them figure out what clubs work best for them. Because there are a ton of RSOs at UD, like a lot. So like setting up consultations with us basically just allows them to narrow down like, okay, what clubs are you interested in based on like your interests, your hobbies, your passions.
Besides using an involvement specialist, the university has other opportunities for students to find their place on their own.
Involvement fair. The university always hosts an involvement fair for freshmen, and it's part of the welcome days.
Even with the amount of RSOs at UD and resources on campus, some students may think they haven't found their fit. Luckily, there's still options for them.
Don't find a club that tailors to you. You can always start your own. Like, there's no limit to how many RSOs can be on campus. But even if you don't find something that is in your interest or in your hobbies, you can always create your own.
The University of Delaware has a large amount of registered student organizations on campus, but how involved are students really? The university gives a lot of chances to be involved, but do students take the opportunities given to them to participate?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like there's a lot of opportunities for like different types of people to like find whatever they like. So
fair. Yeah, we went there and I signed up for kind of things, but I haven't really gone to all of them, but I've gone to some of them. And there are a lot of different clubs. You can do really whatever you want. You just find people you resonate with and whatever your hobbies are.
Although some students take their time getting involved, a lot of students are aware they were given the opportunities by the university and are even taking their chances to create new organizations.
I haven't been, but I'm starting a club. Ooh. So now I am. Club.
The university clearly makes an effort to make sure that students are aware of all the opportunities here on campus. Hopefully more and more students feel comfortable getting involved in all the different ways provided to them to make the best of their 4 years in Newark. For 49 News, I'm Emma Schneider.
Hello everyone, I'm Ryan Mink, and welcome back to the Blue Hen Sports segment. The University of Delaware is looking into potentially moving conferences in the near future. Delaware is currently part of the CAA conference and has been since 2001. The university has allowed staff to look for a potential new home. Although nothing is set in stone, wide receiver JoJo Bermudez says the team is worked hard enough no matter what happens.
From last year, we've been through so much and we know what it takes to win. We know the defeat of how hard it is to win in this league, and we know how easy it is to lose. So we know that we had to take everything seriously. When it came to the weight room, we didn't take any reps off. We actually did extra work in the weight room this year. When we do extra work with each other, when DBs and receivers do one-on-ones, we
It'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming months, but whatever happens in the near future, Delaware athletes will always have a home in Newark. The football team made a remarkable comeback this past Saturday. The Blue Hens fell behind by 18 points early in the second quarter, but fought back for a thrilling 29-25 victory over New Hampshire in a thrilling CAA matchup. Ryan O'Connor passed for 336 yards and 3 touchdowns, with Jordan Townsend having a spectacular day with a touchdown grab and led all receivers with a career-high 122 yards on 5 catches. The win moved the Blue Hens to a 3-1 overall record and 2-0 in CAA play. Delaware is currently on its bye week, but will return to play Duquesne next on October 7th at 3 p.m. The men's soccer team defeated George Washington 2-0 yesterday afternoon. Justin Roof and TJ Hastings each recorded a goal en route to Delaware's victory. It was a great showing for the defense as George Washington could only muster 5 total shots, with none of those shots being on goal. The win brings the Blue Hens to an overall record of 6-2-2, and the team will play next October 3rd at home against Lehigh at 6 p.m. The women's soccer team played a tough defensive battle against Monmouth last week, but ultimately lost 1-0. The Hawks' lone goal came in the 7th minute of the first half, and Delaware fought hard until the end, but couldn't find the back of the net. Kayla Burns played a full 90 minutes in net, in which she had 5 saves and only allowed 1 goal. With the loss, the Blue Hens' overall record drops to 3-4-4, but has an opportunity to get back into the win column tomorrow against Northeastern. The University of Delaware field hockey team fell 3-1 to UConn on the road Sunday afternoon at Nancy Stevens Field. Rachel Whitehead netted Delaware's first goal of the game just under 3 minutes into the contest and dominated on defense until 30 seconds into the fourth quarter. UConn's Juliana Kratz tied the game and never looked back. Sophomore Kylie Walbert tailed a season-high 15 saves on the day. This brings the team's overall record to 4-6 on the season as they return home on Friday, September 29th, and are set to host William & Mary with a game time set for 5 p.m. The University of Delaware's men's tennis team rolled past Georgetown Friday afternoon with a 4-3 dual match score and 10-4 overall score. Toby Locke and Ewan McKenzie tailed a doubles win together and then each picked up a singles point. Mason Robbins tailed his first career victory in both doubles and singles. Delaware heads to the ITA Atlantic Regionals beginning Wednesday, October 11th. Now over to weather.
Good evening, Newark. I'm Joe Davis with today's weather update. It's been a moderate and mostly overcast day here in Newark, but there's not too much to complain about, just so long as it's not raining again. Throughout the day, we have seen quite a bit of heavy cloud cover, brisk temperatures moving steadily through the 60s, and the dew point at 52 degrees. There is not a drop of rain in sight, and the winds have even slightly calmed down with gusts no more than 9 to 15 miles per hour. Newark has finally broken free from Tropical Storm Ophelia, which dumped steady rain on the area from Saturday night all the way up until Tuesday. Those 4 dreary days gave us almost 2.5 inches of rain, and I think I speak for everyone when I say, I'm glad it's over. We've officially passed the autumnal equinox this past Saturday, and the days are now shorter than they are long. So expect the sun to rise tomorrow at a bright and early 6:56 and set at 6:51. We're also tracking a weather advisory for Newcastle County from the National Weather Service that warns of coastal flooding overnight. Our local satellite provided by UD SEMA confirms the mostly overcast weather that we have been experiencing today, with that one pesky cluster of clouds sitting right over top of Newark and not moving an inch. We are still at the height of hurricane season, and the tropics are back again with Tropical Storm Felipe, and a disturbance at its tail that has a 90% chance of developing into a full cyclone. Tropical Storm Felipe is moving west and looking to make direct contact with Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic in the coming days. Back in Newark, we're going to see tonight's temperatures drop from those comfortable 60s down to as low as 50 degrees, which is becoming the new normal with our beginning of fall weather. Those clouds from today are also not going anywhere overnight, so get ready for yet another day of little to no sun on campus tomorrow. Moving to the 5-day forecast, expect those same 60s temperatures, more heavy cloud cover, and even some rain coming in late tomorrow night into Friday, making for a gloomy end of the week. But if you're like me and you aren't ready to let go of summer, then you're in luck. This Saturday marks a shift back towards temperatures in the 70s and 80s all the way until this time next week. So bundle up and grab a jacket or a raincoat for your classes on Thursday and Friday, but don't get too attached because things are looking to warm up in a major way just in time for the start of October. That's all for your forecast this week. I'm Joe Davis. This past Sunday was bustling with booths and activities to explore, all thanks to Community Day hosted by Newark Parks and Recreations. Casey Nyman has the details.
Although the 21st of September was the official start to the fall season, the city of Newark jump-started their autumnal celebrations this year. This past Sunday, businesses and organizations from the area all came together to put on a fabulous community day. Lining the North Green on the University of Delaware's campus from 11 to 4 was hundreds of tents and booths. Hosted by the Newark Parks and Recreation Department, the Fall Festival is put on annually to bring the community together.
Sure, Community Day is an event where we welcome the students back, not only for the university, but for the local school district as well. It's just kind of a gathering for everyone to get together to start the fall off. It's been wonderful. The sun was out. I mean, when the sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. So we're happy. All this wonderful crowd out here, all the families that have come out to enjoy the event, students, you name it, it's been wonderful.
The family-friendly event had it all. From crafts to businesses, activities, and food, it ensured a jam-packed schedule for the afternoon. It was also a great opportunity for students to explore the city and everything it has to offer.
My friend actually just mentioned it, and we figured we'd come check it out and see what it's all about. So.
For some, they just happened to stumble upon it on their Sunday strolls and were almost blown away by the fun.
Oh, of course I did. I had a good time. I got a hot dog, had a snack. I love the community. I love Newark. I love what's going on here today.
Although the event was cut short by the rain, it was packed full of thousands of people beforehand. There were lots of opportunities to shop locally and support small businesses in the area. Other festivities included a scarecrow contest, musical performances, and lots of furry, and some not so furry,
There's snakes, there's turtles,
friends.
With so many activities to explore, this festival is the perfect start to the fall season.
Community Day kicked off the plethora of festivities to come in the next few months. Here in Newark, you truly never know what you're going to stumble upon on campus. Reporting for 49 News, I'm Casey Nyman.
The University of Delaware will host its annual Coast Day event from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on October 1st. The event will feature cutting-edge research and community outreach opportunities at UD's College of Earth, Ocean, and Environment in Lewis. Guests could take lab tours, handle marine life, and participate in a bunch of other family-friendly activities. According to host Fabrice Veron, the point of this event is to welcome the community and to help build a resilient and sustainable future. 23 dogs were rescued Saturday morning in Newcastle County after a Mercedes Sprinter van crashed on I-95. The van traveling on 995 North, just north of South College Avenue, was carrying dogs rescued from overcrowded Louisiana shelters. While on the way to rescue organizations, heavy rain made for rough driving conditions. A 2013 Kia Forte struck the van, forcing it to veer off the road. Luckily, both drivers were uninjured, and the dogs were safely transferred from the scene by first responders in the Delaware Office of Animal Welfare. A Delaware State Police trooper has been charged with second-degree assault this Tuesday. 29-year-old Dempsey R. Walters was found guilty of brutally beating a 15-year-old boy who had pranked his home in Ellesmere. Body cam video from when Walters was on duty revealed footage from the assault. Walters' charges included deprivation of civil rights, 2 counts of third-degree assault, and 2 counts of official misconduct. Last Wednesday, Newark Mayor Stu Markham announced that he is resigning as mayor. With more on this is our political correspondent, Serafina Carollo.
Thank you, Emma. Markham announced his resignation halfway through his first mayoral term. Markham told the New York Post that the stress of the job was a factor in his decision. His official resignation will take effect on October 18th, with Deputy Mayor Travis McDermott stepping in as acting mayor until a permanent replacement is elected in early January. Our neighbor, the Garden State, has been making headlines this past week after New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez was indicted on federal bribery charges. The charges allege that Senator Menendez and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes, including gold, cash, and even a luxury vehicle. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy said that the alleged facts are, quote, so serious that they compromise Governor Menendez's ability to effectively represent the people of New Jersey. Senator Menendez denies these accusations, but multiple other New Jersey politicians have spoken out against Senator Menendez and are already trying to find his successor. In nationwide news, the U.S. is heading towards a government shutdown this weekend unless Congress takes action. Government funding will expire at 12:01 a.m. on Sunday if the Senate and House cannot come to an agreement on a budget. A government shutdown would suspend millions of federal employees, disrupt air travel, and cut off vital safety net services throughout the country. Yesterday, University of Delaware alum and sitting President Joe Biden made history on the United Auto Workers picket line in Michigan. Auto workers are currently striking for higher wages and cost of living increases. Biden notably picked up a bullhorn and told protesters to stick with it, showing his support to the cause. There is concern that a prolonged strike could harm the economy, especially in the state of Michigan. However, the president encouraged working-class citizens to keep fighting for higher pay. Tonight, the stage is set at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in California, where 7 Republican presidential candidates are gearing up for a crucial face-off in the second primary debate of the 2024 campaign. On the roster, we have Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, and former Vice President Mike Pence, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum. Notably absent from tonight's debate is former President Donald Trump, the current GOP frontrunner. He will forego the debate to deliver a primetime speech to former and current union members in Detroit. That is all I have for you tonight. We'll be back to Grace after this short break.
#49 News starts right now.
I'm Emma Schneider here with your entertainment news.
I'm Laura Daly here with this week's weather update. We could see the clouds are moving in to the area as the night progresses.
I went out to find out what students really think.
Let's see what students at the University of Delaware have to say.
Here's what you can do to keep yourself safe during this holiday season.
Sadly, that is all we have for you tonight on 49 News.
It's back. We're back.
Penn Sport Night, your University of Delaware sports broadcasting show.
That team from Boston. Just because they got a leprechaun don't mean they're going to be lucky.
How has your experience been playing field hockey here?
How magical was the beginning of the season for you guys?
Who are you rooting for this World Cup?
Probably the USA or Scotland.
Watch the play. I don't think I've seen it though. Yeah, you can't guard them. That's not your body.
It's her first time in 10 years. So we're like kind of at the same level.
Welcome to Real Talk.
What is the best Halloween candy?
You had to play a song every time you came into the room. What song would it be?
This movie's bonkers. Let's get right into that.
Yeah. Do you guys like pickles?
No. I love pickles. I'm so excited. You see Kanye West as this icon, as this person, and he said some anti-Semitic things. So it's like, how do you deal with it?
There's nothing scarier than a student-run television show with an audience of 13.
Do you mean bi-weekly?
Don't they look stunning?
What? I don't want to hold you back.
Ow!
What now?
McKinley! Shut the hell up!
Let me just leave these babies here, Ricky, while I head on up to the saloon for the hour. I'm just gonna...
I've been your host, Lauren Kapp, and this is the Bi-Weekly Show.
Yeah!
On Tuesday, the Federal Trade Commission, along with 17 U.S. states, filed a lawsuit against Amazon, alleging them of violating federal and state antitrust laws, accusing the company of engaging in anti-competitive practices by not allowing sellers to offer lower prices on their products on other websites. A similar lawsuit was filed last year by the state of California. This is the most significant legal challenge the company has faced in its nearly 30-year history. The Labor Department is investigating Purdue Farms and Tyson Foods after reports that migrant children as young as 13 have been working overnight shifts to clean the company's plants. The inquiry comes after the New York Times Magazine published last week an account of a 14-year-old boy, Marcus Cox, whose arm was nearly torn off while working at a Purdue slaughterhouse on the eastern shore of Virginia. Purdue spokesperson Andrea Staub confirmed the company is aware of the federal investigation and said it plans to cooperate, while Tyson Foods said it was not aware of any investigation and therefore declined to comment. For those of you hoping to get their carving knives ready for this season, it may be harder to pick the perfect pumpkin. A mix of a prolonged drought followed by torrential downpours made for poor growing conditions. Luckily, only some farmers were affected by this weather, so there may still be hope for all your pumpkin-related fall festivities. At UD and on college campuses everywhere, anxiety and stress is very common for students. I report on UD's Yoga Club and how it can relieve stress and anxiety for University of Delaware students. Have you ever wondered if there was a club at UD specifically for stress relief? Well, Perkins Student Center is home to the Yoga Club, a club that will do just that. The Yoga Club is a free club for students who enjoy all different types of classes throughout the week. You can attend these classes at both Trabant and Perkins Student Centers. The yogis who attend each week describe how Yoga Club makes a difference in their overall well-being and stress during the school week.
It's very relaxing and it's a nice stress reliever and it makes me happy.
An article from CU Denver News states that yoga is a package that comes with physical and mental practices. This is important because more than 60% of college students said that they have experienced overwhelming anxiety, and yoga is a physical mental health treatment.
For me, it really helps just not to get wrapped up in, all those crazy thoughts, keeping my mind centered, keeping myself focused on school and all the important things.
It does definitely help me with my week, and it's very relaxing.
Here at Yoga Club, this club feels more like a family. It is filled with many reoccurring members who love to find inner peace with themselves after a busy week.
I would say probably my favorite is seeing recurring faces, seeing people coming back to classes each week. It's fun. We're all a little family, and it's oh my god, you like my class?
Yoga Club here at UD is definitely an amazing club to be a part of. It helps you connect with your mind, body, and soul while relaxing you after a long and stressful week. Be sure to check out the amazing different workshops and classes that Yoga Club has to offer this week. From 49 News, I'm Grace McKenna. Now, to give us a look into all things trending in pop culture is Casey Nyman.
Thanks, Grace. Starting off strong, America's favorite pastime, watching movies, of course, will be flourishing this upcoming fall. Get your popcorn ready because we've got a lot. Released earlier this month were hits like My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, A Haunting in Venice, and a reboot of the childhood favorite, Spy Kids. In the upcoming weeks, other haunting thrillers are releasing. To name a few, there is The Kill Room, Saw X, Nun 2, and The Exorcist Believer. But if you're looking for something a little more cozy, the Queen of Fall, Meg Ryan, is coming back to her rom-com roots. To get your season started, her upcoming movie, What Happens Later, is coming to theaters on October 13th. And I think it's pretty much sacred that the dress code to go see this film is a big cozy sweater with a pumpkin spice latte in hand. Prior to its release, one upcoming movie is already making world history. The newest Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, broke the Guinness World Record for the most dogs in attendance at a screening. Over 200 furry friends came to an early showing of the film on Sunday in Los Angeles. And if you'd also like to go see this pawsome movie, it'll be released this Friday only in theaters. In other big Hollywood news, a light at the end of the tunnel is finally coming to Writers Guild of America strike. After 5 days of negotiations, agreements have finally been reached to settle the strike that has been on since May. While the deal has not yet been officially finalized, workers returned to their jobs today. The terms ensure that writers will have greater benefits and protection. One major improvement is bonuses from streaming services and overseas viewings. The contract has also helped address issues such as the use of AI tools and setting minimum staffing regulations for writers and producers on shows. Many behind-the-scene workers are still protesting, but hopefully these improvements will encourage more changes in the industry. We're pretty close to having some of our favorite shows back on the big screen. In the meantime, while we still have to patiently watch to see which two teams will play in this year's 58th Super Bowl, luckily even bigger news has dropped as to who will be headlining the halftime show. This year's performance will be hosted by the one and only Usher. The 8-time Grammy Award winner will be singing his R&B hits at the Las Vegas Allegiant Stadium on February 11th. And if you need another good reason to scream yeah, our favorite icon, Taylor Swift, is allegedly hanging out with Kansas City Chiefs star Travis Kelce. The power couple has already spiked Kelce jersey sales by 400%. And my guess is that everyone is hoping to snag their outfits to wear to Taylor's big film premiere on October 13th. The iconic Eras Tour concert film will be globally streaming at theaters worldwide. Unsurprisingly, it's already on track to become the highest-grossing concert film. Taylor said herself on Instagram that Eras attire, friendship bracelets, singing, and dancing are all encouraged, and you better believe I'll be taking Taylor's advice on all of that. Unfortunately, other stars haven't been so lucky in the news recently. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner filed for a divorce earlier this month. Sophie sued Joe on Thursday over custody issues. It was settled that the kids must stay in New York for the time being. Shakira is also facing legal issues of her own. She was charged with tax evasion in Spain for allegedly failing to pay over $7 million. In the world of music, luckily there's a lot of new albums to fuel your first semester soundtrack. Perfectly on theme, Ed Sheeran's new album, Autumn Variations, is dropping this Friday. Not only is this Ed Sheeran's second album of the year, following his release of Subtract last spring, but the tracklist will contain 14 songs inspired by 14 of his friends. Other more recent releases that have been on repeat are Olivia Rodrigo's ever so popular Guts, Doja Cat's Scarlet, and the unexpected Zach Bryan EP, Boys of Faith. To wrap up, there's some big changes coming to these infamous streaming services. Starting in 2024, Amazon Prime will begin to implement ads while watching their platform. However, subscribers will also have the option to pay an extra $2.99 to avoid the pesky interruptions. Netflix, on the other hand, will mail their final red envelopes of DVDs this year, putting an end to the 25 years of subscriptions. So be sure to check the mail, as some random subscribers will be chosen to receive 10 DVDs in the final shipment. Back to the hot gossip here at UD, there has been an additional 5 minutes added to all class. Natalie Ruglio reports on how this extra 5 minutes affects students' learning experience and whether or not it's beneficial.
Welcome back to Campus UD students. Starting this year at the University of Delaware, all class times have been extended by an extra 5 minutes. This adjustment has been in place for the first few weeks of classes, so let's take a look and see how students on campus feel about this change.
I think it's a little stupid. Not only does 5 minutes in each class, I don't really think you can do much more with just 5 minutes, but 5 minutes for every class, that adds up. Usually I get let out early for some classes, but other classes I'm just sitting there for 5 extra minutes.
It seems kind of pointless. I mean, we get let out early every class period. It seems like there's really no point. I don't think that the extra 5 minutes is enhancing our education at all.
I don't really think that it's necessary. I'm in all my engineering and math classes right now, and so I feel like they are higher level classes. Yeah, my teachers usually let me out of class early, and I don't really think they're using the extra 5 minutes at all.
It is clear that students agree upon the fact that the extra 5 minutes of class time has not enhanced their education. Now that we heard from them, let's take a shift and get some insight from Professor Godino here at UD.
So in regards to that extra 5 minutes that started this fall for our classes here at UD, whether it's beneficial or not, I think really depends. I mean, it's not something that, from a professor's standpoint, because in classes I teach, sometimes we've gone into the extra 5 minutes, sometimes we haven't. I think for students it's a huge acclimation period because they're not used to it. And I think for all of us, even from a faculty standpoint. So I think it's a hard adjustment. I know that the idea was that the students do need more interaction, touch time. I think it can create additional stress on students, but at the same time it can be a beneficial tool if professors are using it properly.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Professor Godino. Overall, it is clear that the extra 5 minutes of class has not been effective for students here at the University of Delaware. Although some professors hold their students for the full length of class, it does not mean that this time is always being used efficiently. For 49 News, this is Natalie Ruglio.
That's all we have for you tonight on 49 News. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and tune in to our next show October 18th.
Be sure to follow us on social media at 49 News to keep up with our cast and crew until our next show. It's been a pleasure being your host tonight. I'm Grace McKenna.
And I'm Emma Schneider. From all of us here at 49 News, have a good night and stay safe.